Denise, we'll turn it over to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today for the October. In my mind, I said November, but for the October DUG4GOV meetup, we are very excited everyone has chosen to join us today and look forward to some great content. Um, Thank you so much for being here. Welcome home to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 community as hosted by the Dynamics user group. Just a quick little plug. Our membership is free. Get out there, get your membership so you have access to great programs like this throughout the course of the year. We do have a community that's 35,000 and growing. Been around for a little while. You might know us for our DynamicsCon virtual event and all of the super fun superheroes, like my background says. Also, be sure to check out Dynamics User, our website, to take a look at the programs that we have going on. And if there is a way for you to contact me if you have questions, just let us know. We're happy to answer. Also, just a quick little plug, March 15th, mark your calendars. We have our ninth in ninth installment of the DynamicsCon virtual event coming up. Session submissions are open. Please go out, submit your sessions. This event is free to participate in. It's free to attend. And it's voted. All the sessions are voted on by the community. So get out there, get your submissions, or take a look and see what's been posted out there. And finally, please mark your calendars for DynamicsCon Live, May 25th, 22nd through the 25th in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. Early bird pricing goes through Monday, Halloween. Get your little bit of your spook on and get registered at the early bird price. And with that, I am going to turn it over to my good friend Mary for her to introduce our upcoming speaker. And thank you all so much for being here.
Thanks, Denise. And like Denise said, I'm Mary Brummer, and I lead DUG4GOV for Microsoft, along with my colleagues. So welcome, everybody. DUG4GOV is a user group for Dynamics and Power Platforms specific to state and local government agencies and organizations. So if you know anybody else who is a colleague and works in a state and local organization, please make sure to forward along the invite. And it's a community of professionals where we're sharing information and we're learning from peers and partners. The fourth Tuesday of every month, we do our virtual meetup. And today we're super excited about the meetup that we have scheduled. And we are always looking for organizations to do another meetup. So if your organization is a great user of Dynamics and Power Platform, raise your hand, say, hey, we want to tell our great story. Reach out to me. We'd love to hear from you. And next month, it's actually not going to be the fourth Tuesday. It's going to be the fifth Tuesday because of Thanksgiving. But it is going to be Fairfax County, and they are going to be presenting their transparency, efficiency, and accountability within Dynamics 365 for their Virginia Freedom of Information Act. It's really a great use case for Dynamics, and we hope you can join us for that presentation. But with no further ado, I would like to hand it over to Sangya Singh. She's Vice President of Microsoft Power Pages, and she's got some special guests today. So we're super excited to hear about Power Pages. There's a ton of content. And so what we'd love for you to do is if you have questions, just put them in the chat. A lot of Sonia's team is online, so we can be answering as we go. And then at the last 15 minutes of the presentation, we will open it up for question and answer. So with that, Sonia, it's up to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary, and Chris and Denise, to give us an opportunity to come and talk to the community. Actually, I didn't realize that's such a big community of 35,000 members. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Sangya Singh. I lead the development of a product called Microsoft Power Pages that we're going to be talking about it, which is part of Microsoft Power Platform. We have a lot of amazing content. The whole presentation, before we get to the Q&A section in the last 15 minutes, is kind of divided into 3 parts. The first part, I'm just going to take 5 minutes to set the context of why low-code platforms is now becoming a very strategic tool for large enterprises and public sector companies like yours, and the customer momentum that we're seeing with Power Pages. And then the second part, we have some 2 great customers with us. We have John Harrison from the Department of New Jersey Community Affairs, Jeremiah from King County, the largest county in Washington, and they're going to share how they leverage Power Pages for different scenarios. So that will be about 20-minute section, 10 minutes each, with John and Jeremiah talking about it. And then the last section, depending on how much time I have, I'll just quickly recap some key capabilities that you get with Power Pages today to start leveraging the way that John and Jeremiah's team are leveraging. And then, like Mary said, a lot of content. We will make sure you have a PDF version of this deck. You have links and the contacts to ask us any questions post this meeting. And with that, as you see stuff, feel free to chime in over the chat, and my team is there. We'll answer questions as we go along, and then make sure we have 15 minutes towards the end. Okay, so just to set some context, if my PowerPoint will go, just to set a little bit of context for the big picture around why there's a need for low code. So as all of us already know, that organizations today are facing multiple profound challenges impacting them, whether it's the organizations you belong to, whether it's even Microsoft belongs to our customers, whether it is from pandemic or global conflicts or supply chain disruptions or economic slowdown, or this whole great reshuffle of the workforce. We've never seen this kind of multiple challenges all coming together in profound ways. And the residents and the customers we serve, they want solutions faster. They want us to respond faster. And the definition, frankly, of faster, as all of you have experienced over the last 18 to 24 months, has changed. It's changed from years to months and weeks, without compromising on the security and the reliability and the performance of how they want solutions to come to them. And we also know that there is a worldwide shortage of the number of professional developers that are needed to build these incredible solutions. This is one data that IDC research team published, which talks about, there are going to be 500 million more solutions that will be built in the next 5 years than was built in the last 40 years. And there's a huge shortage of developers, right? So all of us have huge number of solutions that we want to do, but we don't have enough professional expertise around it, which means something's got to change in order for us. And as always, history has shown, when such a major gap happens, new category of softwares come to life. And with that, you now started to hear low-code platforms like the Microsoft Power Platform. So Microsoft Power Platform is the brand from Microsoft, which is a low-code platform, is gaining momentum. Why? Because it allows organization like yours to innovate faster, achieve business outcomes faster by tapping into a talent that you already have across various degree of tech fluency. And it's a platform that still has security and trust and reliability built in. So we are seeing low code platform is becoming a tool that all large commercial organization and public sector, state and local governments are adding to their portfolio of innovation and serving their residents and their customers faster. We have about, Gartner says, 70% of large software enterprise like software will be developed in low code in just 3 years from now. So that's a very staggering shift in our industry. All of us know, we all in this together, when such a major shift happens, we have to start to evaluate. When the shift is happening, means there's maturity around this category of software, that it's about to take mainstream, that in a few years nobody will question why low code is not just part of other categories that we have. Also, Power Platform as an early entrant into the industry, and has been recognized as leaders by Gartner and Forrester. About 97% of Fortune 500 are using some part of Power Platform. And then one thing that that all the organizations are realizing is that low code at the end of the day is about increasing agility for members in organizations of all tech fluency, whether it is business users, whether it is IT pros, IT professionals, site admins, or it is pro developers like the front end developers, the full stack developers. The way to respond to what's happening in the world is to enable these members. Gartner calls them fusion teams. Fusion teams are made up of team members of all tech fluency that can come together on a platform and rapidly innovate, because each one of them brings in a very specific perspective. So Microsoft Power Platform is the only comprehensive platform in town right now that has the following capabilities built into one platform. So you don't have to buy pure plays for different things and then integrate, right? So it has Power Apps and Power Pages are two products within the platform that allows you to create solution. Power Apps for internal within your organization solutions, and Power Pages, which we're going to go deep into today, is about creating solutions to serve the customers and residents that you cater to. Power BI is for analytics, and Power Automate and Power Virtual Agent are part of automation, whether it's automating business processes or creating virtual agents. So it is the only one comprehensive platform in the market that has all these capabilities built in. And so the reason it's resonating with a lot of the customers is in today's world, to really reduce the total cost of ownership, instead of buying different vendors and then worrying about integration. How do you take a homegrown platform that might not be the modern SaaS platform that is built with security? That's why Power Pages allows organizations like yours to quickly get on a secure modern platform and start creating solutions to serve your employees and your external residents. So with that, we're gonna this session is around the specific service within Power Platform called Microsoft Power Pages. So Microsoft Power Pages is a product that allows you to develop external self-service websites, so you can share and collect business data from the residents that you serve. You can automate all the business processes that you have with the residents and the communities at scale and securely. We're seeing a lot of momentum with Power Pages platform worldwide, a strong year over year. We just crossed 100 million active users on our platform. And these are on the left, you see, these are the types of websites that we are just seeing being leveraged. A lot of government to citizen services, a lot of application processing services, whether it's permit application, visa application, a lot of registration services our customers are launching, and also partner portals where they can share key business data securely. And Power Pages is a fully managed SaaS service by Microsoft, and it's available across the globe. So what you see here is we are available across the globe. Obviously, Microsoft caters to enterprise customers. So anything that you see in blue are what we call commercial clouds. And then for our state and local and federal government, we have sovereign clouds that are highlighted in white. In North America, we have clouds for U.S. government. We call them GCC, GCC High, Department of Defense, with FedRAMP and FedRAMP High certifications, which is really important for customers like you to onboard. And as we release functionality into our product, we roll out first in our commercial clouds, and within 90 days, they're available on our sovereign clouds. So from this, you take away that Power Pages not only is used by customers around the world, state and local governments around the world, but we have a really strong presence on sovereign clouds. Which leads us to my last slide, which is I wanted to give you a view of as Power Pages is gaining so much traction, majority of the traction, these are the industries that we are resonating against, and our largest one is adopted by state and local governments, and hence it's a real privilege to come to this community. And with me, I have two amazing customers that are going to share stories on what they are able to do. With that, I wanted to first invite John Harris, who is the director at the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. John, take it away.
Thank you, Sangya. I requested control there of the.
Yes, I see it, and allow.
There we go. And just make sure I can click through. There we go. Great. If that's not me clicking through and that's you clicking through, I'll just let you do it as we go on. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Thanks to Microsoft for inviting me. Basically, I just want to talk a little bit about the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs and what we do at IT and how we've been using the Microsoft Power Platform and specifically Power Pages. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs serves a lot of a diverse client base. So we have individual constituents, could be anybody in the state. We also specialize towards low-income constituents, do a lot of housing work, things like that, but we also do privacy, other things. We do inspections. So for the business and property owners, we do fire and commercial inspections. And we also are the conduit for all the local government, all the municipalities. And there's a lot. New Jersey is a small state, but we have a lot of local governments. So we have 565 different municipalities, 21 counties. And they work with us to do all their budget and reporting, things like that. So we're a bit of a catch-all agency. So I always say, if you have a government program that doesn't really belong anywhere, put it with us. And that goes towards some of what Sangya was saying too, of things happen fast. Legislation all of a sudden gets passed that people, either were sleeping on or it just came up really quick and it was a hot issue. And recently we've had legislation come our way where I don't necessarily know why it ends up at DCA, but it does. And once it ends up at your department, you got to take care of it regardless of what the issue was. Talk a little bit about the IT group here. We have some guiding principles, cloud first, not cloud only. Everything's a bit of a hybrid, but certainly cloud first. And lately, more and more things are available in cloud. And low code, no code. That doesn't, no code means no code sometimes. Coding is fine. And as Sangya was saying, we want to leverage times where we do have to do regular code, but want to mix that with a team of some citizen developers, even internally. We have some business analysts who start doing some things that would be considered development back in the day, but it doesn't have to be. We want things that are quick to deploy, as we were saying, to respond to legislative changes. Iterative development is important. That helps being able to be quick to deploy because it doesn't have to be perfect. Get it out there, get it working, and then improve it over time. And I always tell people that the system that we deploy hopefully will be better in 3 months, hopefully will be better in 6 months, hopefully will be better in 9 months. We don't want to have to sit and wait to get it perfect, and then it never matures from there. So, and secure and scalable. So multi-factor authentication, things like that, the FedRAMP certification, those are things we look for in any system that we're going to look at. And the Power Platform is our starting place. We try to do everything there. There are some things that, depending on the legislation or the issues or the members involved, we might do different ways. But this is kind of why those guiding principles lead us to the Power Platform being our kind of default base platform. Talking a little bit about the Power Pages right now, we have 4 divisional environments, and some of those, the reason why we have separate environments is because of either the audience, the base of customers that we will be serving, and sometimes the funding. You have to, expense your portal expense, which isn't great, but you have to make sure that goes down and is accounted for with the federal money, and you can't kind of mix the two things. We have 13 production solutions. We have 2 more that are coming out, one next week, one in early December. And just going to go through the different environments. We have our kind of base DCA service portal. This has a solution, a Dynamics 365 solution that does elevator and housing inspections, and coming soon, as I said, fire solutions. Those are very intense applications. There's a lot of information. Elevators has, some 70,000 different violation codes per year, and they put out a new book every 2 or 3 years. And depending on when the elevator was built, you have to go against that code book and things like that. But when we build the pages in Dynamics with the model-driven app, you just kind of enable it as a portal page, and then boom, it's up on Power Pages. So very easy. So at that level, and a lot of the Dynamics solution creation can be done low code, no code, and then really to get it out to Power Pages, it's a push of a button. One solution I talked about is the Superstorm Sandy mortgage forbearance. This was our first actual thing that we put out in Dynamics 365 and the Power Pages. And this one, literally, I was fairly new to the organization. There was some legislation that was being kicked around for a while, and nobody expected it to be passed. And then boom, it was passed one day. And my commissioner came to me and said, "Okay, we need to get this out in 6 weeks." And that clock started 2 weeks ago. And I was like, okay. So we brought in a partner, and we signed their contract for them to develop it. We had just brought in Dynamics 365. We had just had the environment. Nothing was in it. We were planning for the inspection solutions, and that Superstorm Sandy legislation came down. And within 3 weeks, we had a portal up where people that were affected by the storm could apply for mortgage forbearance. And we brought everybody in. We were actually a day or 2 early. We soft released it a day or 2 before we had to, but that was really impressive to me that within basically 3 weeks of having the vendor on site, boom, we could have something that's out there. Yeah, we're real happy about that one. That program is closed out, so you won't find it on our website anymore, but that was great. And then we also did other things like job postings. So job postings, was something that we did internally. So we've had a mix of where we'll bring in some vendor consulting firms that will help us develop in Dynamics 365, but we do a lot of things in-house as well. And the job postings was a good one where we have kind of 2 sides to that: the internal processing of job postings internally so that it can get approved, so that it can be put out on the website. And at the end of that process, once somebody clicks complete, boom, it shows up on the portal pages without anybody doing anything. Then the folks online can apply for that. So I'm going to go through and try to be cognizant of my time here. So this is our service portal page. You'll see up on the top right, we have a link to the job postings and the quick pay. And we're constantly redesigning these sites, and these are some of our doorways into either elevator safety or housing inspection. You can come in and start to look at buildings, and even if you're not related to a building, you might want to see the inspection history, things like that. Here's we have public and private job postings where people can come in, click on the job posting, upload their resume, cover letter, little things like that. We also, this is just kind of showing the integration. So This is more some of the low code stuff, not too intensive, JavaScript, Liquid, things like that, HTML, where we'll connect it in, we'll do some fetch XML back to the Dynamics Dataverse to get the information for the bill to pay. And then we integrate with either credit card or e-check, and then people can pay that, and we'll go out and we'll send them out to the other site with Treasury. They'll go ahead and pay their bill. So that works out really nice. We use Power BI dashboards for management review and even supervisory review. Power Automate. So even outside of the main solution that we've done, somebody wanted some notifications to go out when the bill is 10 days due in 10 days or is 10 days overdue. So I gave that to a business analyst. They went into Power Automate. They didn't have to do any code. They put that all together. They connected it to the Dataverse, and it has a link to the portal pages where people can go in and get to that quick pay screen. And we put a link right to that bill. So they click on the link from the email, and boom, they're up on portal pages with that bill already brought up. And then they go ahead and pay it. We do identity and access management with My New Jersey. So once somebody signs up, whether they're going to elevators or housing or even some of our other portals, we already know who they are. We get them right in the door. And if they're already logged into My New Jersey and they have the Dynamics or the portal pages bookmarked, they'll get right in. That's SAML compliant, and that integrates real well. For SharePoint, so for those job postings, we're going to put the resumes up there, allow people to review them internally up there after people have come in. I talked about Outlook and payments already. I'll move ahead. So when I was working with the Microsoft team, they were asking for metrics, and this is always one of my favorite metrics, 0, right? So the human resources used to have to get all the paper resumes, and they'd print them out, and they'd have these files, and they'd have to get them to the divisions, and it would be the middle of the application period, but we want to look at them early, and then got all crazy. So now this is one of the true, success stories of 0 paper. It goes out on SharePoint, and then the different divisions only have access to their SharePoint folders because they're not supposed to be looking at other people's folders. So real secure, been a big success story. That was internal, brought up, and really I have a couple geniuses on the team. Two fellows in particular, I call the twins, and they're not twins at all, but we call them the twins. But they're great. So it allows them to mix with people like me and some of our business analysts and project managers to really get the most out of it and turn things around quickly. And just some rough numbers on inspections. We conduct 40,000 inspections a year, process about 10,000 registrations of either elevator devices or businesses for the housing inspection, and process a lot of payments and pay a lot of bills. DC8, so this is our low income portal. So if people come in here and need some assistance, they can come in and do a little screener that we built. This was one that was code. It was just JavaScript and HTML, but Power Pages gives us a place to put it. So we developed a little screener, and then we have a whole bunch of programs, and I'll show you something real interesting about that we did with that. So this is our base screen where you have you can log into My New Jersey if you haven't already logged in. And if you hit this button up here, you can hit our screener, and it brings you to a page. And first, we want to make sure if they need help, we can get them right to 211 if they need someplace to sleep tonight, something like that. If not, they say, let me continue with the questionnaire. We get some information. What county are you in? How much do you make? Are you homeless? Are you a veteran? The basic questions that fit our programs. And at the end of it, we tell them what programs they look like they're eligible for. We certainly don't say they're ineligible for anything, but we say, hey, based on your information, I would concentrate on these programs. And then if they log in and want to fill out an application, we have a little wizard thing here where they'll go into each one of these steps. They'll fill out the application, and then regardless of the programs that we have, we only get one application for them, and then they'll be automatically enrolled in any of the programs that we have here, which is real nice. Yeah, exactly. They fill out one application instead of 4 applications, and it's one contact record in the Dataverse and things like that. Makes it really nice. We integrate again with My New Jersey, with Azure, when they have to upload their proof of residency, things like that. And we, the system that runs some of the information is an Oracle backend, but we connect with that through the Power Platform as well. Really, it's agnostic as far as that is. We've dispersed $133 million in benefits, utility income or weatherization, water, home energy assistance through utilities. Processed about 350,000 applications, helped out about 280,000 households, and interface that information back to the utility companies. Basically, we tell the utility companies what bills to lower. This is our fast portal for local government services. So we do budget reporting, as I said. We have a best practice survey, and we also have an open data portal. So if you're a local government, you can come in here, you can click, you would actually through web roles only have access to whatever town. I have access to everybody, so you see everybody there, but they can go in and submit their annual budget, their debt statements, things like that. We also have best practices for municipalities to find out what's working, what's not working in municipalities. And you can do surveys with a lot of other things like forms in Microsoft or SurveyMonkey or whatever, but this allows us to get year-over-year data and allows people to start the survey and leave and come back and things like that. So that's real nice. And we've also, I'm real interested in the Fairfax County. I used to live down near Fairfax, West Ox Road there. So I'm looking forward to that one next month. I'm going to go to that, but we have a little bit of an open data portal to cut down on some Oprah inquiries. Where people can come in here and not only can they download some files and get some debt statements or get some budgets that were from previous years, they can also come in here and look at how their municipality is doing against, in this example, against other ones in their county. So there's Morris County kind of highlighted there. Or you could do it with other municipalities with the same governmental structure or other municipalities with the same population. And we kind of show you how you compare to those. So that's real nice. We have a whole bunch of files that you can download if you want to download those statements. The municipalities themselves upload a ton of different budget documents. And then we, Falls Church, there you go. And then, we combine those into the files that you can download. And the survey responses, there's a lot of questions, a lot of municipalities over a lot of years, and that's beneficial. And then we got a fourth environment because we wanted to, because we loved it so much. So on that one, we have a notice of intent to foreclose. So anybody that's getting foreclosed on, we've the banks had, there was some legislation that came down, and now banks had to give us a listing of every property they were putting a notice of intent to foreclose, not that they necessarily foreclosed on them. We also have a licensing platform. We're going to use the Dynamics and the portal pages as a platform for licensing all over everything that we license. So we have landscape and irrigation officials. That's coming out next week. And then we'll be licensing construction officials and fire officials and get them off some of our legacy platforms. I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much. And that's that portal right there, and we're going to start tying these together because they're all links. So it really doesn't. People don't need to know behind the scenes that it was a different environment or not. So the road ahead, more to come with Power Apps, Canvas apps, online inspection booking for our inspection solution, so people can go in and tell us when they're going to be there, because that's a lot better when they're there. And again, online Oprah support. So I'm really looking forward to that, to this event next month, and looking forward to the new functionality that Sangya is going to be showing everybody later. And with that, that's my time. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, John. Just fantastic to hear. Maybe just in 30 seconds, can you share like how big your team is and how long have you been involved with Power Pages development?
I've been involved since I got here. It was one of the first initiatives I kind of took on, and we went through a review of Salesforce and different platforms, and we ended up with Microsoft. We could have gotten by with other things, but it was that total integration with Office 365 and everything else that really got us over the edge towards that. So just going on 6 years now. I have a small IT team. with the help desk and network people and business analysts and project managers. I have more titles than people, and developers, we're only about 20 strong. So that's why I have to supplement with some other people, but we get some really good things out of there. It's really
That's
nice.
awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. So now on to, please join me in welcoming Jeremiah Sullivan, who is a solution architect with King County, our largest county in Washington. Jeremiah, do you want to request access, or you want me to move the slides? I'm happy to do both.
You could probably go ahead and, or actually, let me go ahead and work. I'll go ahead and work a scroll. That would make it easier for you there.
Oh, okay. Now you should have it.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Jeremiah Sullivan. I'm with King County. We are the county seat of Seattle, Washington. We're the 14th largest county by population with about 2 million citizens. And I'm going to show you briefly our Power Pages journey that we've been going on over the last about 5 years, roughly. Oh, did I get? Oh, there. Sorry, the controls are being a little slow. Okay, so our primary uses of Power Pages, the reason it's been so powerful for us is first and foremost the quick time to deploy. So the ability to go from idea to production in a matter of days in some cases when necessary, and you're really not taking longer than weeks or maybe 2 or 3 months in most cases to deploy new functionality for our constituents. And also that happens within a secure and scalable platform so that we don't have to worry about and devote resources to maintaining infrastructure and monitoring security as deeply as we would with a custom solution. Also, as a county government with a very diverse set of communities that we serve, multi-language support is an extremely important feature for us in all of our platforms, and as was a very strong contender for Power Pages for us. And then also, we make use of Azure B2C to do user login for external users. And so that provides us an integrated identity platform that we're able to use on all of our Power Pages and give our citizens a single user account that they're able to use to log into any of our Power Pages that we provide to them. And overall, it's an end-to-end platform. We use both the Power Pages and Dynamics and Power Platform model-driven and Canvas apps to service all of our internal employees and programs. And then the Power Pages are largely used to front the functionality and to our citizens and provide our county services. So. Apologies, the controls are showing up a little slowly on my screen. That's why I'm a little delayed there. So over the last about 5 years, we have launched over 10 Power Pages production sites for our citizens so far. We're going to kind of show you a selection of those here. So this is a series of, we just kind of show, we're going to give you a couple, we're going to do a video and a short demo on a couple of these sites. But this is just sort of a montage, if you will, of the types of sites that we've created. And they run the gamut really from small sites for citizens that provide very discrete functionality to larger partner sites that like one of the videos that we're going to show here is our eviction prevention site that we used during the pandemic for landlords and tenants to work with each other to prevent people from getting evicted and also provide rental assistance to the landlords, so that they wouldn't evict their tenants and stuff like that. And so as well as things like a vaccine screener for the monkeypox and also the main vaccination scheduling site that we created for coronavirus vaccinations. So. Oh, there's the names, actually. Sorry, I didn't realize the names that I'll show. So yes, we also have things like youth support services where we provide information to youth on the social services that are available to them through the county. And then we're seeing things like the client outcomes reporting, capacity charge escrow. These are examples of partner sites that we work with service providers and businesses. And then falls prevention is an example of a site that we have created very specifically for senior citizens. It's actually to help them get assistance in making their home safe so that they don't suffer injurious falls inside their home. So that's kind of a selection of the areas. You can kind of see from the titles the areas we're dealing with. And now we're about to go into a couple of demos. One of them is going to be an actual demo that I'm going to give here live on the Reduced Fare portal. And I'll explain a little bit more about it in just a second. And then we also have a video right after that we're going to show that was produced in partnership with Microsoft on our eviction prevention and rental assistance program.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Sorry. Okay, and so we're going to go into our live demo here. So I am going to switch screens and actually show you this Reduced Fare portal here. And so I'll lay the groundwork a little bit. We're gonna kind of show some of the features that this illustrates for us in Power Pages is the multi-language support. Also, a little bit more difficult to see here is the accessibility. So one of the reasons that we choose Power Pages is we do have a requirement, I think most governments do, that you have to have accessible websites. So one of the things that we really like about Power Pages is to the extent that you're using the out-of-the-box, entity forms and step-based web forms and things like that, they come with accessibility built in for the web pages. And so one of the things that we like about that is we don't have to think about the accessibility. It's built in. We don't have to devote a lot of resources to it, and we get more rapidly to production because of that. And so I'm going to show you here the multi-language functionality. So we had a requirement on this particular program to have to present both Spanish and Vietnamese as alternate languages to English. So that's what you're kind of seeing here. And I'll just flip. I only speak English myself. Yes.
Your screen's not sharing. We're still on the deck. So maybe if you can try to reshare again.
Thank you so much. Was that Katie?
Sure.
That sounded like Katie.
It is.
Apologies. I thought it had switched. Here we go. Here we are at the Reduced Fare portal.
There we go.
You were probably
can
looking
see
at
it
the
now.
static.
Thanks.
Was it
Yes.
showing the static version of this? Apologies. I
It
was
was.
kind of moving around and showing things. So the Reduced Fare portal, just to step back, this is for our transit program. This is we have various benefit programs that will allow you to apply to get a card to have a reduced reduced fares on buses in our region. And so as I was saying, multi-language is one of the reasons that we choose Power Pages. And so here I'm going to just demonstrate, the ability to. Sorry, the browser does this for me. And as you can see, so we have content available both in Vietnamese and Spanish, in addition to English.
Sorry, Jeremiah. Can we just see? Can others see the screen, or is it just me? It says. Mary, do you see the screen?
Yep, we can see
Oh,
it.
now we see it. Oh,
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
apologies. Oh, yeah,
Thank
I
you.
am getting the red bar now too. Yeah. So,
got it. Thank you.
And so, yeah, so we can, I will stay in English for the duration of this demo at this point. But one of the things I want to point out of this is the built-in functionality in both Power Platform, and then it extends into the Power Pages to provide multi-language support. And so this also, we can use this to also provide multi-language support on model-driven apps and Canvas apps for our internal users, as well as for the public on Power Pages. So I'm going to switch like this. And then the other feature we're going to kind of show here is I am signing in with our Azure B2C system, which we call KC Login. We kind of have branded it for ourselves here. And I also want to demonstrate that we are able to Azure B2C also lets you present information in multi-language format. And so here we are also allowing folks to switch to Spanish or Vietnamese. Again, these were the required. Oh, I must not have the language content. Oh, yes, I see. Yes, some of the content on Azure B2C comes from Microsoft, and we have little control over some of that. So that's why you do see some of the content not coming in Vietnamese on this particular screen. I'm going to go ahead and sign in real quick. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and walk through one of the application processes. I'm going to go ahead and choose the subsidized annual pass. Is the one I'm going to use. This is an income-based qualification program. Okay, presenting the user. This is just some basic website stuff where we're presenting users with, letting them know what types of information they're going to need to provide before they start, so they can gather that ahead of time. And we have some disclaimers. So, to the extent that for your application programs, you need to do things like, make people give attestations and testimonies and sign off on disclaimers and stuff. You can do all of that kind of thing here. I'm going to go ahead and I will do some of the pre-fill thing from the browser. That is from browser, just so folks know that is not a feature that this is the browser autocomplete is what I'm showing here. So. I am a little bit older than that, but we won't discuss my actual age. Oh, sorry. Do a combined box on that one. Okay. This is a feature that we have we had to built in on here, so this just shows like some of the stuff that you can do with the web forms from Power Pages. So we do have this program in particular can be applied for by people who are homeless, right? So this allows us to provide alternate contact information and how they want us to communicate with them. This application. I will go ahead and leave that off for now. Some of this stuff. Again, our language stuff is playing out again where we're presenting the language-based options in all 3 languages simultaneously. This is just a UX principle that our designers have us implement. So. Okay, I have an invalid. So there's an example of validation on the web forms. I'm going to click that, and it's going to tell me, oh, and it's probably because I tend to like to enter my country code for some reason, and that's not usually the right way to do the phone number. So. Okay, and then here we're, so this is an example then of one of the multi-step web forms that are available from Power Pages. And we built this similar to what John was talking about on the Power Pages, where these forms are all built as model-driven app forms, and then they are bound to a portal page, or in this case, a portal page that's bound to a step in a step-based process that we're going through. Or form filling out stuff. Say yes and no to some of that. And then we're going to see some of our file upload capabilities here. I believe this is the last step, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. These are my final attestations that I, understand and agree to the terms and conditions, so to speak. Then I am going to upload ID example and submit it. And there we go. And so now the person has submitted this, and there's also a link here. So you'll recall I had signed in. So I can come back here, and now I can see all of the applications I have submitted historically. I did a test one earlier this morning. Oh, Oh, when did I do that? Oh, no, that must have been, oh, okay. That is the one from today. This is from a few days ago. Sorry. So here I can come back in, and if the form has not been completed, like if the agency hasn't reviewed and approved or rejected my form at this point, I can always come back in, make modifications and resubmit it. For instance, if I had supplied the wrong photo ID. For instance, or needed to adjust my income statement that I had made or something like that. So these will show up and be available, and then they will also be available for you to be able to see the history of your applications going forward. And this is one of the benefits of having the single sign-on with Azure B2C for our users, is that we can maintain their history of applications across multiple portals actually, and be able to show them that in each context as necessary. And that is about it for the reduced fare portal demo. So I'm going to stop my sharing real quick. And then, Sonia, do you mind resharing the? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Did you want to request control? I can move the slides.
Well, I think at this point we're going to do the next slide. Actually, if you want to advance, because I think the next slide is going to be just the metrics on this, and then we're going to go into the video for for that. So so on the reduced fare portal, so that was what we kind of wanted to demonstrate, was the multi-language support, the Azure B2C for the user login, which provides single sign-on and can be used across all of your Power Pages portals. And then we used out-of-the-box web forms that provided us both the step-based process without custom programming, as well as the built-in accessibility. And then the first iteration of this actually only took about 3 months to go from idea to production. And then we had a second iteration where we brought in the multi-language stuff. And that's something I want to speak to folks about in case you're considering going down the multi-language route. It's very easy to implement, but one thing that you might want to keep in mind is it does extend your testing time. So consider, for example, you publish a new page out there. You obviously are going to go through and test that page in Power Pages because you're deploying it to the public. You're going to need to test it in each language that you are releasing it in. And so, with us, it's we essentially have to account for roughly three times the testing time. So that's just something, it does make it very easy to implement those things, but sometimes it can have, some impacts on your overall management of it that you want to take into account ahead of time. And then, this particular portal is servicing a little over 10,000 applicants a year for about 2 or 3 years we've been running this portal. So, yeah. Well, yes. And Sonia, can we go to the next one? I think we're going to go into EPRAP here. And so here we're going to show a video in just a second. So during the pandemic, there was, of course, the issue about folks not being able to pay their rent, maybe going to get evicted. So we have a federally this is part of the federally funded programs. We have a federally funded program for eviction prevention and rental assistance here at King County, and our Community and Human Service Agency, which ran the program for us, decided to spin up that functionality in Power Pages. And I think we have a video that we're going to show of actually sort of the story of creating and establishing this Power Pages portal to begin with.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremiah. Just fantastic set of applications, and the demo was awesome. So this video, as Jeremiah said, is going to showcase the eviction prevention program, but it also pulls together all the new capabilities that Power Pages just announced a few weeks ago, and it's going to be available in Sovereign Clouds by mid-November. So let's take a look. It's a 5-minute video, and we do realize we're running out of time. So we'll watch the video so you kind of see capabilities of the product, and I will just take maybe a couple minutes after that to just recap the capabilities. So with that, I'm going to play the video, and I'll pause it for a second. If Jeremiah or Mary, you can say if you hear the volume. Did you hear it? No?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
During the COVID-19
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
During the
Yes.
COVID-19 pandemic, many people struggled to pay their rent and utility bills. King County set up the eviction prevention and rent assistance program to help those in need. I visit the site on my phone and learn more about the program eligibility details and apply for assistance. The application form includes several steps and questions. I start filling out the form, but on the last step, I realize I need to upload a document that's on my home computer. I decide to leave the application and complete it later. That evening, I log onto the site from my home PC. I'm pleasantly surprised that the application has all the information I entered earlier. I pick up where I left off, upload the document, and submit the application. A few days later, I log back into the site to check on the application status and see it has been approved. This application process was simple and fast. Now let's see how King County built this application site with Power Pages. Let's first navigate to the Power Pages homepage, where you get all the sites that you created. Go to the Templates Hub, where you can browse and access a rich set of high-value templates that will jumpstart your site building journey. There's also the Learn Hub, that is the go-to place to access how-to videos and articles that will guide you through different stages of design, build, configure, and launch. Going back to the homepage and opening the King County site, this launches the Power Pages Design Studio, where makers can rapidly build and style data-centric business sites. It has 4 fully immersive workspaces dedicated to specific user jobs. The first workspace is the Pages workspace, designed for building web pages. In the left navigation, you can see all the pages that make up the site. The right is the Canvas editor, where you can build professional pages with no-code widgets like sections, text, and images, and easily make inline changes to get the look you want. The next web page uses more advanced data components, like this business data list. This data list is built on top of the Dataverse table and only displays the application status of the authenticated user. Notice that this site has already been styled to align with King County's branding. In the styling workspace, I've applied global site styling by updating one of the preset themes to align with King County's brand colors and font styles. Next, I will build a new web page where users can fill out and submit their application. In the data workspace, I've created tables and forms that will be used for the application. Going back to the Pages workspace, I select the Start New Application web page and add a multi-step form. Multi-step form is a great option for long applications. You can logically group fields and questions into shorter forms and provide end users the flexibility to pause and resume form completion at their convenience. This form is a 2-step process. The first step is for entering personal information. From the canvas, I can update any form field properties, such as the label and description, and can add field validations with low code. The second step of the application is to gather employment and income details along with supporting documentation. I add the step and enable and configure file upload in a few clicks. The last step is to set up security and permissions for the form. When it comes to data, security is top of mind. I've set up table permissions so only authenticated users can interact with the form and upload files. When I'm done with building the site, I test it by previewing the site on desktop and on mobile. Finally, the site is ready for launch. I go to the Setup workspace and follow the Go Live checklist for a smooth launch.
Awesome. So we almost a minute into Mary. I think it's about to be 10 o'clock. Would you just want me to just maybe take a minute just to recap?
Sure, that would be great.
Awesome. And like Mary said in the chat, any questions, first a big round of applause for Jeremiah and John, for everything that they're doing and how they've leveraged and the wealth of knowledge that they shared. So thank you so much, both of you and your teams. There's a lot of content that we'll make sure that Mary will give a PDF version of this, kind of what you saw in the demo. There are a lot of slides around it. Because I have a minute left, 30 seconds left now, just to recap, I just wanted to maybe just pause here and just talk about again and again what makes Power Pages platform compelling for state and local governments across the breadth of patterns that you saw John and Jeremiah talk about. So number one thing is this, the new design studio that you just saw in the video that really allows you to create these application processing and get it started with no-code widgets, and then you can extend it with low-code capabilities in Visual Studio Code, as Jeremiah actually talked about it. So number one thing is, it is a design studio that is optimized for these kinds of patterns around application, inspection, qualification patterns. It integrates really well. At the end of the day, the design studio, it's no code, but it's actually generating code. So you can open up, number two is you can really open this up in ProDev tooling and add very specific ProDev capabilities and validations like Jeremiah talked about. And then you saw how the platform already out of the box gives you a lot of the capabilities, whether it is authentication model, authorization, role-based, scalability. We talked about accessibility. We talked about certifications that it has. And then because it's part of Power Platform, the something that I said at the beginning of the presentation is you collect all this data from the residents that you serve, and then you can process it within your organizations through Power Apps, through Power Automate. So these are, again and again, you'll see the pattern that both John and Jeremiah talked about, why Power Pages is compelling. It helps their team respond to whether it's legislative changes or other changes within weeks, and on a platform that they can trust. Here is a link to the Power Pages site. I will have Mary close it out on how you can get the recording and any questions answered.
Great. Thank you so much, Sonia. That was awesome. And thank you for our customers for presenting. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Chris, Doug. We can get them answered, and Matt as well. So definitely send any questions that you would like, and we will follow up. We will also be posting the recording on the DUG4GOV site. We will send everybody an email explaining where that posting will be, along with the PowerPoint or the PDF version of the presentation. So thank you again, everybody, for attending today, and we'll see you next month on DUG4GOV. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.